All right. Coach, you want to open up with a statement or just take questions?
To God be the glory. I'll take questions, any questions you guys have.
Could you start us out with a little bit of a look at the Valparaiso game?
You know, Valparaiso is one of those teams that, you know, they're averaging over 70 points a game. Their field goal percentage is 47%. They have 4 guys in double figures. They can spread you out. We knew that they'd be a tough team to defend. You know, we would have to score points to give ourselves a chance to win. And you know, it was a kind of a game of spurts. We got off to a quick start, got a lead early, then they finished the half strong. They were up. They went up 12 in the second half, and then we went on a 14-2 run and tied it. We took the lead, and I think we tied the game 6 or 7 times during the body of the game. And, really, at the end, came down to a couple of free throws we missed to tie the game, and they went up 4. And, you know, from that point on, you know, we didn't make up the ground, but I thought actually we played well offensively. You know, we shot 54% from the floor, roughly, and we scored 44 points in the paint of our 79. You know, we scored 79 points on the road. Previous game against West Kentucky, the most we scored on the road before that, I think, was 54 points. You know, Austin probably had his best game of the year, 25 and 7. Scott Thomas, 16 points, 7 assists, 1 turnover. Jordan Crawford, career high, 22 points. D. Brown, 10 points. I mean, I thought our free throw shooting and their free throw shooting might have been the difference. 26 for 33 for those guys, for Valpo, and we were, I think, 17 for 26 for the game. So, I mean, offensively, we did some good things. I'm never a fan of going back and forth playing tag with teams, and you know, I always feel better when we get stops. You know, when we're holding teams to less than 40% from the field on defense. You know, not when you know you got to. It's almost like the last man standing. You trading baskets back and forth because eventually either somebody gonna stop scoring, or the person with the ball at the end of the last, you know, the person with the last possession is going to, you know, be in position to win the game. So I felt like without us being able to sustain our defense and them shooting free throws the last 5, 6, 7 possessions, seemed like they lived at the line in the second half. So, you know, offensively did some good things, but I still wasn't comfortable with how the game was being played.
Knowing that they're a pretty good offensive team and do a lot of things, I mean, does that kind of temper, the word I'm going to use here is disappointment in defense, but I mean, does it kind of adjust your analysis of the defense?
You know what? I look at it different ways. I think they're a team that runs a lot of different sets and a lot of different offenses, and but they spread you out. You know, they got 4 guys. Sometimes they play 5 out. You know, 4 out, 1 in the post. You couldn't really double team the post, and we knew that their big guy drew a lot of fouls, shot a lot of free throws. So, but we really couldn't help a whole lot. So you look at it and say, did you execute your game plan? Did you stick to your principles? And for the most part, you know, we weren't bad with our principles, but you know, at the end of the day, you looked at the cumulative stats, and you didn't get as many stops. You know, you had 2 guys foul out, and they shot 33 free throws, and they shot 54% for the game. So statistically, you know, you just feel like, you know, you wanted to do a better job, but you also knew that, you know, they're a tough team to really shut down, and that you needed to score points. You know, you needed to score on your own end, because I thought we could. I thought we could score points against Balfour. I knew, you know, for us, we needed to get more stops throughout the game, and I think the free throw shooting hurt us on their part, them getting to the line so much, and, you know, making, especially late in the game. They got the double bonus early, and it made it tough.
What about the challenge in this weekend with Michigan State? Have you looked at anything on them yet?
I just was watching tape, just sitting there watching one of their games. You know, really a different game, totally different game. I mean, you know, Coach Izzo and Michigan State, their identity pretty much been the same for a long time. You know, you kind of know what you're getting from them. They have probably one of the most, you know, best all-around players in the Big Ten, and maybe one of the best all-around players in the country, in Draymond Green. I mean, he does everything. You know, I always talk about how Scott Thomas is a stat sheet stuffer. I think Green epitomizes that for Michigan State. I mean, if you look, scoring, assists, rebounds, steals, free throw attempts. I mean, you know, the ball goes through him a great deal, and you know that it's going to be a game where you have to match their physicality. You know, you got to do a great job putting a body on them on the defensive boards. You know, they've always been a strong rebounding team. And transition deep, you know, and I think that's where young man Keith Applin is very good in the open floor. So you gotta, you gotta do a good job against them in transition, and you gotta try to limit them to one shot and rebound the ball. You got all five guys. You gotta play physical, and then on the offensive end, you gotta run good offense, and you gotta have great possessions, because they're gonna make you earn what you get on the defensive end. So. Really, it's you know, I think it's a game for us that hope, you know, we'll bring the best out of us. You know, that's what I'm you know, that's what I want to see. You know, because, you know, on both ends of the court, you know, we need to be solid and play well. You know, and the things, our principles. You know, they're a pretty principled team, Michigan State. You know, they do what they do, and again, it's a test for our principles too, which is, you know, it's, and I think that's good.
Against a team like this, will you tend to play more zone as opposed to man-to-man just because of their
You play
skill?
the defense that works. You know, you play what works. You know, last year we played zone the whole game. And we're a different defensive team. In the first half, I think they scored 23 points in the first half against something like that. And I thought our zone was very effective. But I think defensively right now we're in a different place. You know, our man-to-man overall, other than probably the Temple game, has been our best defense. So I know we're gonna play some man. Where last year we didn't play any, so we're gonna play some man-to-man. But you know, zone is working, and it's the best defense. Then that's what we'll use. But ideally, we want both to be good, and that's the process. That's where we're. That's what we're aiming towards. That's what we want to get better at in preparation for the MAC, you know, conference schedule. We want both defenses to be strong, but you know, I think definitely we'll probably play some zone against these guys.
We can talk a little bit about playing on the road. You've had such a glut of home games early in the season, and it looks like it's been, obviously I've not been to any of the 3 road games, but it looks like it's been a little different for this team on the road.
Well, the one thing I'll say is that every game we played on the road, we had a chance to win. You know, there's been a point in the time where there's been a possession, either where we've been up or we've been down 3, you know, going back to the Georgia game, the West Kentucky game. I mean, we've clawed back in the games in the second half. We played well in the second half. You know, we might have got off slow, but we played well in the second half. And I mean, I don't know exactly how much time was left in the game, probably less than a minute. You know, we got 2 free throws, and we're down 2 at Valpo. We hit those 2 free throws, it's a tie game. So, I mean, I can't say that we haven't competed and gave ourselves a chance to win. Closing out games, you know, it's obvious, you know, we haven't closed them out as well as we would like, but, I mean, I think on the road, point number 1 is to give yourself a chance to win. You know, you want to be in the game, to have a chance to win. Now, whether you, at the end of the day, you look at your record, you're 0-3, and that's whether you lose by 2 or you lose by 22. But you can look at it and dissect the game as a coach, and you can say, hey, you know, we've been very competitive, we've been right there. It's just a matter of making a few more game plays at the end of the game and maybe not being down and having to claw back so hard in the second half. So, you know, other than closing the games and the outcome, I mean, there's a lot of good things we're doing in these games. So, and you got to go on the road. And if you want to be a good team, you got to learn to win on the road. So, I mean, that part, that doesn't, you know, that's not something that I'm fearful of playing on the road, and we shouldn't be. I mean, we actually should be encouraged because, again, I mean, we play some teams, you know, that are pretty good teams in Georgia, West Kentucky, and Valpo, and we had a chance to win them all. So, just a matter of closing the games down.
Is there a particular facet of the game that you think needs to tighten up to help that closeout?
I think free throw shooting has hurt us somewhat at crucial times. I think we gotta probably get better possessions. I ain't gonna say better, but we just gotta make plays, make baskets at the end of games. I think our foul situation late, you know, I think that's hurt us at times. And defensively, you know, when teams are in the bonus, you know, it just makes it a little tougher. But that time of game, that's usually what it is. But I just think some of it's just maturity and making plays and being able to you know, finish them out on the offensive end too. You know, just making plays on the offensive end. So, you know, all the way around. You know, we need to, and then once you grab 1 or 2, your confidence grows. You know, right now we're 0-3. And I know our guys know they can win, but there's no better, I think, confidence builder is when you do grab one of these games. So, but you got to be in a position. You got to be in a position to win the games. That's the first thing. You know, you got to be in a position to win the games, and you got to expect close games. And, that's all the way around, you know, all of us, you know, our team, you know, we gotta, that's something we gotta mature at.
This schedule for you, non-conference, very heavy on home games early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the first 6, am I right to say that? 5 of the first 6 at home, and now you know you're gonna be on the road for the next 4, I think it is, and I know not home until January. Was that schedule the way it was home early, on the road now in the next couple of weeks by design, the way it fell? How?
Well, I think if you look, everything kind of revolved around that first round robin event, the
CB Classic.
the CBD Classic. Everything revolved around that. You know, you knew you were going to get 3 straight home games. They had to fall at a certain time of the year. You had to play Georgia. You had to play a BCS school on the road, so you knew you were going there. Howard was a return game, and the reason why we opened up at their place the year before was so they could open up here the first game of the Stroh Center, and the Temple game. I mean, sometimes that's out of your hands because you know, it's based on football, and the league dictates to a degree when you play them. And then the rest of the games are return games. You know, we had to go to West Kentucky. That was a return game. Valpo was a return game from the bracket buster. Then all the rest of them are return games. So if you're going to go to Florida, you go when school's out, if you can. You know, you don't miss classes. If you're going to go to San Antonio, you go when school's out. So you don't miss classes. The Duquesne game, you know, you try to get it in where you can fit it in. And that's just a matter of fit for both programs. So, you know, sometimes it just falls that way. Whether it's by design or not, it doesn't really work that way because you know, you got to schedule according to the other team too. But really, the Classic probably dictated more than.
We good?
No, one more. It was finals week and all. We talked with Kurt a little bit about rules that he might have, that his players have to go to class. Just wondering what sort of rules and regulations you might have for your kids to make sure.
They get all A's. That's why rules and regulations, they get all A's. That's what it is. You got to pass golf. Well, as you guys know, this week there is no classes. So just exams. There's no classes. So we gave 2 days off. They got off, well, Sunday, we got back late, but that Sunday and Monday, they got off to kind of get the week going. And we practice late. We usually have a block between 3 and 7, somewhere in that time frame. So we'll work around their finals. And usually they're done by 3:15, 3:30. So, you know, we'll work around that. But, you know, we played enough games and had enough practices where, you know, you can take a couple of days off and not lose anything. And hopefully, you know, we got 4 days of practice going into the Michigan State game. So, you know, school comes first for our guys, and this is a big time, and you got to deal with maybe you may not totally have their undivided attention because they worried about the next exam or whatever, but you work through it. And we got a veteran team that's been through this. You know, we got older guys that's been through the finals and everything. Our young guys, you know, they'll learn as they go, but, you know, my prayer is that you just, you know, you're here to get an education and you're here to get your degree, so it's important that you do well during your finals. So that carries priority. But as far as rules or whatever, you know, we had study table Sunday, and they got study table during the week. So, and exams come first, so if they got to miss a practice or come late to a practice or something, that's okay. That's okay.
Is there a situation where there are people, if somebody's having trouble in the classroom and there are tutors for them, is it any different for basketball players as opposed to any other?
We got tutors all year. You know, we got tutors for our guys and study table all year. You know, our freshmen, they got to take at least 8 hours of study table every week, at least. You know, and most of the time that's more. They meet with 2 or 3 tutors all year. So that might be accelerated some, but you know, if you got to play catch up in finals, then you're not necessarily doing the right thing. You know, because you can't cover a whole semester in a week of finals. You know, you got to be up to date as you go. But you know, they do what they have to do. And Ashley Baker, Brittany, Jarvie, Megan, you know, they all are hands-on, and, you know, our guys they've been conscientious, and I expect them to be that way, but, you know, you kind of fit your schedule around the exams and study times, but, you know, that's why they're in school, you know, to get the education and to do well in their finals, graduate.
Good? All right.
All right.